It's a time for... which one shall I open? Oh, it's like my birthday with a package from China. So let's go. I've been reviewing all kinds of different systems, seeing what kind of, let's say, other solution we're having when it comes to a plug-and-play device from China. There are so many hidden gems, and when it comes to MVS games, they are so much cheaper to buy. However, when it comes to the collection, it's also going to be quite challenging to find every single game for your own collection. And that is simply to do because some of the games, even with MVS cartridges, can be very rare and very expensive to buy. So when it comes to game systems, I've reviewed all kinds of different cheap and, let's say, custom solutions. But when it comes to MVS, it's still a lot of fun to actually play on this. So China does have like an option with a new multi-game card. So the 161-in-1 version number 3. The question was, and also a little bit debatable, is like, is this thing actually new? Because when it comes to the games and everything, like they're claiming to have a new model with different new features, but sometimes you will be disappointed and maybe even deceived, seeing like, hey, there are like all kinds of different versions out there. But let's do a chit chat about this, because this is another banana card, the yellow all famous cartridge. They have different kind of colors, but also when it comes to, let's say, the multi-game series 1, we have different series and different, let's say, similar variations of the number of games, but over here we're having the version number 3. So I've been reviewing a couple of these things, but are they actually worth picking up? So when it comes to this particular product, you can also buy it without the box and makes it so much more cheaper. But just for collectible reasons, I think it's fun to get ourselves the box. So when it comes to the quality of the cartridge, they claim that they did some, let's say, overhaul, and this thing seems to be more efficient and having less problems. So when it comes to, let's say, the box and everything else, it's absolutely great, and the cartridge fits in without any problem, and you can just store it fairly easy like this. But this is not your typical box. Normally only AES have like these fancy boxes. So with an MVS cartridge, we're getting over here this very boring gray box. Because when you have an MVS system in your, let's say, collection and you want to buy new games, you are getting it like this. In a nice, very cardboard brown box. Kind of boring, but brown. And in here we're finding all of the necessary information like manual, and of course we have like all of the needed parts that we're going to be implementing in the Neo Geo cabinet itself for promoting your new bought game. But that was actually how it's normally going to be sold. But the Chinese are using these fancy boxes. Kind of cool, but let's plug it in and let's see what we're getting when it comes to the cartridge itself. Today I will combine the, let's say, Neo Geo with the retro scaler upscaler, and this is going to be a very cool way to just play your old school games through an LCD display. It does have aspect ratio, but just want to point out that in a full review and testing of it, we're going to be using this because it's just convenient. But let's chit chat about the menu. They have changed out the character on the right over there, and it indeed says 161-in-1 version number 3. One of those indications that we can actually use when we want to, let's say, check out if this is actually the new version. So however, when it comes to the game list itself, the game list is not going to be improved in many ways. There are still a lot of hidden gems when it comes to games missing. So one of them out of my head is going to be Sengoku 2. Also Aero Fighters 1 is not here. And yeah, there is all kinds of weird things going on. The Plus edition, what I understand, over like extra editions when it comes to Metal Slug. But the overall, let's say, game list is kind of weird why they keep sticking with the 161-in-1. And it's kind of boring that we're not seeing any new improvements. Over here having Sengoku 2 is missing. And yeah, it's also kind of a mess. It's not like alphabetic order. And that is one of the things that really annoy me when it comes to that. Where we do have all kinds of, let's say, great games. So we just need to remember where are the games that you want to play. So over here having Blazing Star, an absolutely hidden gem, and also a very expensive one if you want to buy it separately for the MVS collection. But in overall, it's just a nice list over here. Let's give you a quick overview of all of the games again. But so far, let's boot it up and I will show you how it actually works out, because if you're going to be booting up a game, it works without any problem, or at least most of them. They still had the problem with a lot of these, let's say, other games that we've checked out with older versions, where glitches, those things have not been changed. But if you're going to be booting up a game, instant boot, no problem whatsoever. And we're using a modified device now. We can also implement the cheat menu. So when it comes to the cheat database, we can actually use it without any problem. And it will recognize the game as it is like an original cartridge. So let's say infinite energy. And that seems to be all working just fine. No problem there. Let's see if all of the modes and mods are activated. Yep. But we do have like max of the energy. Yeah, it seems to be working just fine. So what you do need to take consideration that you always need to double check if you do have a good power supply after, let's say, the main board or the game console that you're using. These machines were coming like with an 6 amp or an 8 amp 12 volt power supply, so it's not going to be any problem whatsoever. But if you want to go back to the menu, that is a little bit of a downside. We can use the soft reboot system, but it will reboot the game itself and not into the mode. So we need to turn the system on and off to get back into the menu itself. We do have some messed up things going on over there with the Unibice 3.3, because this is not the latest one. And let's try out a different game. So let's say we're going to be using the Metal Slug X. That was the improved Metal Slug 2. So everything seems to be working fine. No problem there. So what I understand of this was the game, that they actually improved the slowdowns. Let's go crazy with this. The cheat database, infinite time, enable auto fire, infinite ammo. Yeah, there we go. Oh crap. But it is quite interesting to see when it comes to this multi-game card that they keep releasing the same version over and over again. And yeah, I'm guessing that what they're doing is actually having, let's say, the PCB, giving it a revision so it works better on many different devices. Yeah, but every single game I try to be booting up. I have no problems whatsoever with my MVS system, also from China, AliExpress. and at this point this seems to be working just fine. Yeah, if you're going to be deep diving into the ones that are having glitches, that is still not fixed, I can tell you that already, but a lot of stuff does work, and it's still a very easy and enjoyable way to play Neo Geo for not a lot of money. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.